Yeah, hatred or rage, one of those is really good. And then you can have, to break him as an objective, or even if it's to not kill him, that's fine. But then you can put the compassion under that umbrella.
Yeah. So it's fake compassion.
It's all fake. I'm his buddy, hey, tell me about your story. And I understand where you're coming from. That's all part of trying to not kill him or trying to break him. But underneath it all, and that's where substitution will help you, Greg. I need you to think a little bit about what it would feel like to be around somebody who's done something so awful.
Right.
For me, sometimes I'm scrolling through my Facebook, and I'll see like random ads where somebody just like skinned an animal alive, just for fun, and I think about how I want to skin the man who did that personally. Like it just riles me up big time. Now, I'm not going to think about that to play the scene, but I can use that vibe to launch me into the scene.
Yeah.
And that will grip you and make it personal. It will make it yours because Greg, you're Cole. And the things that resonate for Greg, you can use in Cole.
Right.
So does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And Mo, on your end, I like what you're doing. I felt like the part where, when he was like, when you say I'm scared, it felt to me like that was where the scene went a little off for you, where it felt like you had to almost make it more emotional there.
Yeah.
And it felt to me like the stuff leading up to that felt very honest, but then the editor in you stood out and go, wait a minute, I say a line, I'm scared, so I better pump it up. And what happened when you did that is you disconnected from your organic, honest self, because the honest self may not have been charged and freaked out when you said that line.
That's true, yeah.
And so what you have to do if that happens is just deliver the line as is, because that's where you honestly are. And then you can go back to the drawing board and go, wait a minute, if I really am scared, then I got to make this personal and feel like, well, what would scare me?
Yeah.
Like, when this guy's talking to you about some of the things that he's saying, I would play it from your perspective. You've never been in prison. And, if I talk, Cole will save me. And start thinking about what prison means to you. And I can't leave. And start thinking about shit like COVID in prison right now. And you're sharing like you're sharing a room with somebody who could be sick, coughing all over you.
Yeah.
And prison guards who don't give a shit about you and the food and all the other crazy shit, and you're caught.
Yeah.
And think about like, okay, I'm trying to hide it, until finally he breaks you. You got to figure out why you talk. Is it because somehow you buy into what Cole has said, that if I talk, I'm going to get to go home?
Yeah. Right.
So that's what making something personal means, is connecting to, okay, before I start the scene and he's talking to me about prison, I got to think about what it could feel like to be potentially going there. That's one thing. I would also think about, do you have a conscience? And if you do, how bad do you feel about murdering these people?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right. Because I killed this person because I wanted to get my drugs. So it's feasible that I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted my pills.
Yeah. So I would play that too, and start thinking about when have you wronged somebody, and had to sort of live with it, and how you cope with it. Maybe that's another reason you end up confessing. It's because you feel so guilty. So these will all these things will root you into a stronger connection to the material.